Most people lose their power not because they're weak, but because they talk too much. They reveal their plans before they act, their struggles before they're solved, their wealth before it's secure. And every time they do, they hand over a piece of their strength to the world. Success isn't built only by what you do. It's also built by what you refuse to share. In this noisy world of oversharing, silence has become a hidden superpower. Today, I will reveal to you the 5 personal things you should never share with anyone. These are the crown jewels of your life, the treasures that, if protected, will multiply your focus, your peace of mind, and your ability to win in silence. Guard them and they will work for you. Expose them and you'll watch opportunities slip away. Let's begin. Silence has always been misunderstood in a world addicted to noise, status updates, opinions, endless conversations. We have been trained to believe that silence means weakness, passivity, or even fear. But the truth is the exact opposite. Silence, when used with purpose, is a form of strength. It is the shield that protects your energy, the container that preserves your momentum, and the soil in which your most powerful ideas can grow before they are ready to face the world. Think about this. Every time you speak, you are giving away energy. Words are not free. They cost attention, focus, and sometimes reputation. When you reveal your dreams too soon or expose your struggles without reflection, you are spending energy that could have been invested into action. Silence is not withholding for the sake of secrecy. It is conservation. It is the art of directing your energy inward until the results are strong enough to speak outwardly for you. Napoleon Hill once taught that every great achievement begins with a definite purpose, a clear chief aim, but he also warned that this aim should be guarded like a seed in fertile soil. No farmer throws seeds into the street and expects a harvest. Seeds are buried, protected, and nurtured in private. Only after time and care do they break the surface. Your goals, your financial moves, your private battles, they are seeds. Share them too early and they are exposed to winds of doubt, storms of criticism, and the hungry birds of jealousy. Silence is the fence that guards your garden. But why does silence build power? In practical terms, the answer is momentum. Power grows when it is concentrated. Imagine a river. When it flows freely in every direction, it's just water. But when that same river is dammed, a pressure builds. That pressure creates hydroelectricity, capable of lighting entire cities. Your energy works the same way. Every secret you hold, every goal you protect, every move you prepare quietly, these build momentum. And when you finally release them through action, the impact is 10 times greater than if you had leaked energy and constant chatter. Another reason silence builds power is focus. Every word you speak requires your brain to translate thoughts into language. This sounds simple, but in the process you dilute clarity. When you share prematurely, you also invite distractions. Opinions flood in, doubts are planted. People who do not understand your vision offer advice that takes you off track. Suddenly, what was once a crystal clear plan is clouded by the fog of outside influence. Silence keeps your focus pure. It allows you to return again and again to the inner vision without interference. And silence also builds mystery. Humans are naturally curious. The less you reveal, the more people wonder. This is not about playing games. It's about commanding respect. Think of the leaders who inspire you most. Do they explain every detail of their private life, their struggles, their money, their next big move? Or do they let results speak? We are drawn to those who carry an air of quiet confidence. Their silence creates space for others to project admiration, respect, even awe. Talk too much and you collapse the mystery. Stay silent until results are undeniable and people will treat your presence like power. But let's get personal. How many times in your own life have you spoken too soon? Maybe you shared a dream with someone and their doubt infected your motivation. Maybe you announced a plan before you took the first step, and then when you failed to follow through that, your credibility weakened. Maybe you confessed a private struggle in the wrong room, and the story spread further than you ever imagined. Each of us has learned, usually the hard way, that silence would have served us better. Those experiences are not failures, they are lessons. Lessons that remind us that strength often comes not from more words, but from fewer. Now, silence does not mean isolation. It doesn't mean you walk through life never opening your mouth, never asking for help, never sharing with those you trust. There is a difference between selective disclosure and reckless exposure. The wise man understands who has earned access to his inner world. He chooses a mentor, a partner, It's a circle of loyalty, but he does not scatter his treasures before the crowd. Silence is not about cutting people off. It is about creating boundaries that protect what matters most. To practice silence as power, begin with intention. Ask yourself before you speak, does this move my life forward, or am I simply feeding my ego? If you are sharing because you want applause, you are trading long-term power for short-term validation. If you are speaking because the words are necessary for action, then it is strength. Develop a mental filter. Speak when it creates results. Stay silent when it only creates noise. Silence also teaches discipline. It forces you to sit with your own thoughts, your own doubts, and your own ideas without rushing to outsource them to the opinions of others. In those moments of quiet, you build resilience. You learn to hear your own voice more clearly. And that, my friend, is the foundation of confidence. Trusting your own judgment before seeking the world's approval. The greatest empires were not announced with tweets and slogans before they were built. They were created in silence, brick by brick, until their walls towered so high no one could ignore them. Your life can be the same. Build in silence, protect your dreams in silence, heal in silence, move in silence. And when the time comes, when the results are ready, let them roar so loudly that no explanation is required. Remember this, the world respects results. Not promises, no fad, but results echo for years. Choose silence when it protects your energy. Choose action when the time is right. That is how silence builds power. Your dreams are not just wishes floating in your mind. They are the blueprint of your future, the seeds of everything you will one day become. And like any seed, they are fragile in the beginning. Handle them carelessly and they die before they even sprout. Share them too soon, and you invite storms of doubt, envy, and negativity that can uproot them before they have a chance to grow. This is why you must guard your dreams and goals with fierce protection, not because you are selfish, but because you are wise. Think about it. How many times have you been excited about an idea, a project, or a goal, only to share it with someone and feel the fire inside you instantly dim? Maybe they told you it was unrealistic. Maybe they laughed. Maybe they asked questions you weren't ready to answer. And in that moment, what once felt like possibilities suddenly felt heavy, uncertain, even foolish. That is the danger of sharing too soon. Dreams are delicate. In their early stages, they live only in your imagination. They do not yet have the weight of results to defend themselves. And when you put them into the hands of others, you are handing them something too tender to survive the harshness of skepticism. Even well-meaning people can crush your spirit without realizing it. Imagine this. You decide you want to start a business. You see it clearly in your mind. The product, the customers, the freedom it will give you. You feel alive just thinking about it. At a family gathering, you share your idea. Suddenly, Uncle Richard starts listing every business he's seen fail. Your cousin rolls her eyes. Your friend tells you the market is already too crowded. And just like that, your excitement shrinks. Nothing about your vision changed, but their voices created doubt. Their words planted weeds in your mental garden. Now imagine the same scenario, but this time you say nothing. You spend your evenings researching. You draft a plan. You quietly take small steps forward. A year later, instead of talking about what you want to do, you are showing them what you already did. Their doubts can't touch you because the results are already real. Do you see the difference? This is why Napoleon Hill wrote about the power of a definite chief. Aim a goal so clear, so specific that it becomes the scent of your being. But he also warned, do not broadcast it until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Talking about your goals gives your brain a false sense of progress. When you announce a dream, your mind gets a small dopamine reward as if you've already accomplished something. And then when it's time to actually work, your motivation is weaker. You've already enjoyed the applause, but you haven't built the results. Talking doesn't build empires. Work does. Action does. Consistency does. Let me share a truth that may sting. People are more likely to discourage you than to encourage you, not because they're evil, but because your dream threatens their comfort. When you declare your goals, you remind them of their own unfulfilled ambitions, and instead of facing their own fear, it's easier to question yours. That's why you must protect your goals in silence until they have grown roots so deep that no one's opinion can shake them. So, how do you protect your dreams? First, write them down for yourself. Make them clear. Define exactly what you want, when you want it, and why you want it. That paper becomes your private contract with yourself. Second, work on them daily in small, consistent steps. Let action replace the need for validation. Third, Create a vault of silence. This means resisting the urge to post every plan online or to announce every idea at dinner tables. Learn to enjoy the quiet pride of building privately. And here's the magic. When you keep your dreams private, you build momentum. Every time you act without talking, you reinforce self-trust. You prove to yourself that you are serious. And as weeks turn into months, that private dream gains weight. It transforms from imagination into evidence. That evidence is unshakable because it's no longer just in your head, is visible in your life. Think of the great achievers of history. Did Thomas Edison go around telling the world about every failed attempt before he invented the light bulb? No. He experimented in silence day after day until the results were undeniable. Did Steve Jobs share every draft of his vision before the iPhone was born? No. He worked behind the scenes, refining, protecting, perfecting until the moment came when the world saw something it had never seen before. The same principle applies to you. Your goals deserve protection, not exposure. Your dreams deserve silence, not chatter. Ask yourself this simple question: do I want applause now or do I want results later? Because you cannot have both. If you seek applause too early, you'll weaken your drive. But if you guard your dreams and feed them in silence, you will one day stand on the stage of your success, with results so clear that applause is inevitable. Remember this mantra: talk less, build more. Protect your goals until they are strong enough to speak for themselves. Because when your dreams are ready, they won't need your words. They will be written in your results. And that, my friend, is the power of keep. Ing your dreams and goals to yourself. Money. It's one of the most powerful forces in your life and one of the most dangerous topics to share. In this world of social media and constant comparison, people love to show off their cars, their vacations, their homes, their shopping bags. But here's the truth. Real wealth whispers. Insecurity shouts. The more you talk about your finances, the more you invite unnecessary attention, envy, and even exploitation. That is why your financial situation, how much you make, how much you have, and what you plan to do with it should remain one of the most private areas of your life. Think about it. What happens when you announce a big promotion and a pay raise? At first, it feels great. You want to celebrate and you expect others to be happy for you. But soon the dynamics shift. A friend suddenly remembers the loan you never paid back. A cousin now has a can't-miss investment idea. Someone else starts treating you differently, either with jealousy, resentment, or in expectation. Before you know it, your success has created tension, not celebration. On the other hand, imagine you receive that same promotion, but instead of broadcasting it, you stay silent. You quietly use the extra income to pay down debt, to invest, to create a safety net for your family. Your lifestyle doesn't change dramatically, but your peace of mind grows stronger every month. You gain freedom, not pressure, respect, not resentment. Privacy keeps your wealth clean, safe, and free of other people's hands. But what about the opposite? What if you're struggling financially? Many people believe sharing their problems will bring comfort. Sometimes it does. But most of the time it only creates gossip. People might pity you, look down on you, or worse, use your weakness against you. Remember, announcing financial struggles doesn't fill your bank account. It only makes you vulnerable. Does this mean you should never talk about money? Not exactly. There's a difference between bragging or venting and seeking professional advice. If you need guidance, talk to a certified financial advisor, a mentor, or someone qualified to help. But never broadcast your money situation to your wider circle. Your finances are like the foundation of your house. Would you post pictures of every crack, every flaw, every hidden corner for strangers to see? Of course not. Because if you did, you'd be inviting thieves. Here's another danger. When you talk about money constantly, you make money the goal instead of the tool. Money is not your worth. It's not your identity. It's not the finish line. Money is leverage. It's freedom. It's an instrument you use to design your life. If you obsess over it, chase it, brag about it, or cry about it too publicly, you give it more power than it deserves, and that obsession will rule you instead of serving you. Let me share a metaphor. Imagine two people at a poker table. The first one brags about his chips, counting them out loud, flash, eyeing them to everyone. The second one sits quietly, focused, playing his strategy, never announcing what he has. Who has the advantage? Always the one who stays silent. Because in money, just like poker, the loudest person usually loses. The wealthiest people I've met in life don't talk about their bank accounts. They don't announce their salaries. They don't post their investment returns. Why? Because they understand that money is personal. They guard it like a sacred secret. Their focus is on multiplying it quietly, not showcasing it for applause. Silence in money matters also protects your relationships. When people don't know your exact financial position, they treat you based on who you are, not what you have. You avoid unnecessary comparisons. You avoid jealousy. You avoid hidden agendas. People love you for you, not for your wallet. So, how can you practice financial silence in daily life? Start with these steps. 1. Stop flexing online. No photos of cars, watches, or cash. It's not wealth, it's bait for envy. 2. Never disclose your income or savings. The more people know, the more leverage they have over you. 3. Avoid complaining publicly about money. Struggles are real, but venting only multiplies them. 4. Work with professionals, not friends. Advice from the wrong source can cost you years of progress. 5. Let your lifestyle stay stable. Don't inflate expenses just to prove you're successful. Quiet wealth grows. Loud wealth leaks. Ask yourself, do I want to be impressive or do I want to be free? Because often the need to impress destroys the very freedom money was supposed to bring you. And remember, financial silence doesn't mean stinginess. You can still be generous, still give, still enjoy what you earn. But generosity doesn't require broadcasting and enjoyment doesn't require approval. It is yours. Let it remain yours. At the end of the day, money is between you and your bank, between you and your God, between you and the dreams you are building. No one else has earned the right to know the details. Guard it, protect it, and let your wealth grow in silence until it speaks so loudly through your impact that no words are needed. Everyone carries struggles. They come in different forms. Financial burdens, relationship challenges, health battles, career setbacks. These struggles are part of life, part of growth, part of becoming who you are meant to be. But here is a lesson that few people learn. Your struggles are not meant to be shared with everyone. We live in an age where vulnerability has been glorified. People are encouraged to share their truth, to post every hardship online, to vent their emotions to anyone who will listen. On the surface, this feels honest. It feels authentic. But in reality, oversharing your struggles can weaken you. It dilutes your focus, invites unnecessary judgment, and often gives your problems more power than they deserve. Here's the danger. When you constantly talk about your struggles, you are training your mind to keep them alive. What you focus on expands. The more attention you give to pain, the more it dominates your reality. Yes, struggles are real. Yes, challenges must be faced. But the battlefield of your life is not meant to be a public arena. It is meant to be fought in silence with resilience and with dignity. Think about the times you've opened up too soon. Maybe you vented about work stress on social media, only to realize later that colleagues saw it. Maybe you confided in the wrong person and your private pain became gossip at a dinner table. Maybe you told too many people about your struggles and instead of clarity, you received a flood of conflicting advice that only left you more confused. That's the cost of sharing struggles carelessly. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine facing the same struggle, but keeping it private. Instead of venting, you journal. Instead of announcing, you strategize. Instead of seeking sympathy, you seek solutions, and over time, you overcome it. When people eventually notice, it is not because you told them, it is because they see your transformation that is power. Silent resilience always speaks louder than noisy suffering. Napoleon Hill often spoke about transmuting adversity into strength. He believed that every setback carries with it the seed of equal or greater opportunity. But here's the key. That seed grows only when you handle it internally, not when you scatter it in front of the world. Your struggles are the gym for your soul. They are where your character is tested and your discipline is built. And just like in a real gym, you don't need an audience watching your every rep. The strength is built in private. Does this mean you should never talk about your struggles? No, but you must be selective. There's a difference between seeking support from a trusted mentor or professional and spilling your pain into the public. One heals, the other harms. One creates clarity, the other creates noise. When you share struggles with the right person, it can guide you towards solutions. But when you share them with everyone, it only multiplies the problem. Let me give you a metaphor. Picture a wound. When you cover it, protect it, and treat it with care, it heals. But when you expose it constantly, showing it to anyone, touching it, picking at it, it becomes infected. Your struggles are wounds. Expose them to too many hands and voices, and they will never heal. Guard them, nurture them, and they will make you stronger. Another danger of oversharing is how people use your struggles against you. Some may pity you, but others may quietly record your weakness and use it later. Competitors, even so-called friends, when they know too much about your private battles, they may use that knowledge to undermine you. Protect yourself by choosing wisely who gets access to your struggles. Here's how to practice strength and silence when it comes to personal struggles. 1. Journal. Don't broadcast. Writing private I helps you process emotions without giving power to gossip. 2. Pray or meditate. Direct your struggles upward or inward, not outward to random opinions. 3. Choose one trusted outlet, a mentor, a coach, a therapist, or close confidant. One is enough. 4. Shift from problem to progress. Spend less time describing the struggle, more time working on the solution. 5. Let results do the talking. Overcome privately, reveal publicly only when the victory is complete. Think about the most inspiring stories you've ever heard. They usually come after the victory, not during the struggle. You hear how someone overcame illness, Bertie, the heartbreak, but notice they rarely broadcast every detail while they were still in the fight. They waited until the lessons were learned, until they had proof of triumph. Then their story became a beacon of hope instead of a call for sympathy. Your life should be the same. Let your struggles refine you in silence. Allow them to turn you into someone tougher, wiser, and more disciplined. And when you emerge, the world will respect you, not because of the problems you announced, but because of the strength you displayed. Remember this, sympathy may comfort you for a moment, but resilience will carry you for a lifetime. Oversharing brings comfort today, but weakness tomorrow. Silence brings struggle today, but power tomorrow. Choose wisely because in the end, and the world doesn't need to hear about every obstacle you face, the world needs to see the results of your courage, the strength of your perseverance, and the greatness that was forged in private battles nobody else ever witnessed. That is why you must guard your personal struggles. Keep them close. Work through them in silence. And when the time is right, let your victory, not your vulnerability, be the story that the world remembers. There is one mistake that silently destroys more opportunities than failure ever will. Telling people your next big move before it's ready. In life, in business, in relationships, the element of surprise is your greatest weapon. The moment you broadcast your plans too early, you give away your advantage. Think of it like a chess match. The best players don't announce their next move. They keep their strategy hidden, forcing their opponents to stay uncertain, to stay reactive. If a grandmaster stood up and declared, "On my next turn, I'll move my queen," the game would be over before it began. The strength of the move lies in its timing and its secrecy. Your life works the same way. So many people lose momentum because they talk instead of act. They post their business ideas online. They share their career plans with people who have no stake in their success. They announce their goals before they've even taken the first step. And what happens? They open the oven too soon. Letting the heat escape, they drain the energy needed to execute because they've already spent it talking. Momentum is like a wave. The longer you let it build in silence, the stronger it becomes. But if you release it too early by speaking before acting, the wave crashes before it ever reaches the shore. Let me give you an example. Imagine an entrepreneur with a brilliant idea for a product. Instead of working quietly, he shares it with friends, colleagues, even on social media. Months later, by the time he's ready to launch, 3 competitors have already beaten him to market with similar versions. His once unique vision is now just noise in a crowded space. Contrast that with the entrepreneur who keeps quiet, builds in silence, and unveils a finished, polished product. His competitors are caught off guard, scrambling to react while he takes the lead. That's the power of guarding your next move. But it's not just about competition, it's also about energy. When you reveal your plans prematurely, you shift your energy from execution to explanation. You find yourself defending your vision, debating critics, or justifying yourself to people who don't understand. All that time, all that mental power could have been spent actually building. Instead, it gets wasted in conversation. Napoleon Hill taught that organized planning is one of the fundamental laws of success. But what most people miss is this. Planning is meant to be private until action has been taken. Announcements don't create results. Silent, consistent steps do. By keeping your next big move close to your chest, you free yourself from distractions. You conserve energy. You let your actions, not your words, do the heavy lifting. Here's a metaphor to remember. Imagine you are baking a cake. Every time you open the oven door to check on it, heat escapes, slowing the process. Your plans are the same. The more you open the oven door by sharing them too soon, the weaker they become. Keep the door shut. Let the cake rise, and when it's ready, present it fully baked. Another key point: when people know your next move, they start forming expectations. They watch, they judge, they wait to see if you succeed or fail. That pressure can paralyze you. But when you keep your plans private, you remove the weight of other people's eyes. You move freely with clarity and focus, guided by your own standards instead of their opinions. This is why silence is such a powerful ally. Silence removes pressure. Silence protects momentum. Silence builds an element of surprise that multiplies the impact of your action. So, how do you protect your next move? 1. Build before you broadcast. Never announce an idea until it has a solid foundation. 2. Adopt a need-to-know mindset. Only share details with people directly involved in execution. 3. Resist the urge for validation. The applause you get now will weaken your hunger for real results. 4. Use secrecy as strategy. Surprise is not deception, it's discipline. 5. Let results announce you. When the move is made, let the outcome be the proof. History is full of examples. Military leaders don't share battle plans with the world. Investors don't publish their next big trade before it's placed. Innovators don't live stream their prototypes. Why? Because they know the value of timing. They understand that revealing too soon invites interference. And here's the most important lesson. When you protect your next move, you protect your future self. The version of you that succeeds is being built right now in private. Every step you take in silence adds weight to that future. Every word you don't say adds strength to the surprise you will one day unleash. Ask yourself, do I want to be known for my talk or for my results? Because the loudest person in the room rarely wins. The one who stays silent, focused, and strategic, the one who guards their next move, that's the person who shocks the world. Remember, premature talk kills momentum. Silence builds momentum. And momentum, once released, has the power to change everything. So guard your next big move, keep it close, nurture it in silence, and release it only when the time is right. Because when your move finally arrives, the world won't just hear about it, they will feel its impact. There is a secret about success that very few people talk about. It's not just about what you know or even what you do. It's also about who you allow close to you. The people in your inner circle, the handful of voices you trust, the ones you allow to influence your thinking, will either multiply your potential or quietly poison it. That is why your inner circle must be guarded like a fortress. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves access to your private world. Yet in today's world, people brag about their network, about how many friends, contacts, or followers they have. But here's the truth. Doesn't matter how many people know your name, it matters how many truly know your heart. When Napoleon Hill studied the most successful people of his time, he found a common pattern. Every single one had a small, powerful circle of allies. Not a crowd, not an audience, a circle. These were the people who pushed them, challenged them, believed in them, and protected them. But they didn't broadcast the details of those relationships to the world. They didn't drop names to gain validation. They kept that circle private, sacred and strong. Why? Because the moment you expose your inner circle, you dilute its power. The people who support you should never be used as trophies. They are your board of directors in life, the ones who hold you accountable, who see your flaws, who guide you when the road gets dark. That trust is not meant to be paraded around for likes or applause. Think of your inner circle like a rare diamond. Its value comes not from being displayed everywhere, but from being kept safe, cherished, and preserved. Share too much about who you rely on, and others will try to exploit it. They may attempt to weaken those bonds, or worse, use them against you. The fewer people who know the depth of your private alliances, the more secure those alliances remain. Let me give you a story. Early in my career, I believed that building a big network was the secret to success. I shared everything with everyone, my plans, my fears, my opportunities. I thought being open would build loyalty. But when I hit my first real challenge, most of those friends disappeared. A few even used the information I had shared against me, taking advantage while I was vulnerable. That was the moment I learned true support is rare and it must be protected. On the other hand, when I began to carefully select my inner circle, everything changed. I stopped letting everyone in fave. I stopped talking about who was advising me, supporting me, or pushing me forward. I kept those relationships quiet, and in that silence, they became stronger. because privacy is a form of protection, and protection is what trust needs to grow. So how do you build and protect your inner circle? 1, choose quality over quantity. 5 people who genuinely believe in you are worth more than 500 followers who cheer when you win but vanish when you fall. 2, set clear boundaries. Not everyone needs to know every detail about your life. Keep certain parts of yourself exclusive to the few who have earned it. 3, audit your circle regularly. Ask, does this person multiply my energy or drain it? Do they want me to succeed? P.S. Stop. Remember that your circle is not for public consumption. It is for your protection, your growth, and your private strength. At the end of the day, when the spotlight fades and the applause dies down, your inner circle will still be there. They are the ones who see you without the mask, who believe in you when no one else does, who tell you the truth when you don't want to hear it. That is rare, that is precious, and that must be protected. Guard your circle. Keep it private. Invest in it quietly, because your future will not be built by the noise of the crowd. It will be built by the strength of the few who truly walk with you. Unseen but unshakable. We've now walked through 5 priceless treasures you must guard with your life, your dreams and goals, your finances, your personal struggles, your next big move, and your inner circle. Each one of them is fragile when exposed too early, but immensely powerful when protected. Yet the question remains, how do you actually live this wisdom every single day? This is where the privacy protocol comes in, a daily practice that turns knowledge into power. It's not about being secretive for the sake of mystery. It's about choosing wisely what deserves your voice and what deserves your silence. Let me tell you something. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they lack resources. They fail because they leak their power. They spread their focus, their energy, their confidence across too many people, too many conversations, too many explanations, and by the time they should be executing, they're already exhausted. The privacy protocol is about plugging those leaks, keeping your energy contained, and releasing it only when it creates maximum impact. So, how do you practice it? Step 1, pause before you share. Before you tell someone about your goal, your money, your struggle, your plan, or your closest relationships in POW, ask yourself, will sharing this make me stronger, or will it make me vulnerable? If the answer isn't crystal clear, keep it to yourself. Silence cannot be misquid. Step 2, create a mental firewall. Imagine a filter in your mind. Every time someone asks you a probing question, what are you working on? How much do you make? Who's helping you? Behind the scenes, run it through the firewall. You don't owe anyone access to your private treasures. A simple, firm response like, and I prefer to keep that private, or you'll see when the time is right, protects your power without apology. Step 3, journal. Instead of broadcasting your mind needs outlets, but instead of broadcasting your goals or your struggles to the world, pour them into a private journal. Writing clarifies, writing heals, writing strengthens. The page becomes your confidant, your mirror, your safe space. And unlike social media, the page will never judge you, never doubt you, never betray you. Step 4, share only with earned trust. Privacy doesn't mean isolation. You shall LD share, just not with everyone. Reserve your deepest truths for the rare few who have earned it through loyalty, consistency, and genuine care. These are the people in your inner circle, your board of directors for life. Test trust slowly, and once it's proven, protect it fiercely. Step 5, let results do the talking. This is perhaps the most powerful rule of all. Instead of talking about your dreams, live them. Instead of flaunting your finances, invest them wisely. Instead of venting your struggles, overcome them quietly. Instead of announcing your next big move, make it. Instead of bragging about your circle, let their influence shape you in silence. Let the world see the butterfly, not the cocoon. Now, let me issue you a challenge for the next 30 days. Practice the privacy protocol. Don't announce your goals. Don't discuss your money. Don't broadcast your struggles. Don't reveal your next big move. Don't expose your inner circle. Guard these treasures as if they were the most valuable jewels you own, because they are D. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. We live in a culture that rewards oversharing. People confuse transparency with strength. They confuse attention with achievement. But give it time. Within days, you'll notice something shift. Your focus will sharpen. Your confidence will deepen. Your finances, your struggles, your next big move, and your inner circle. Protect them, and they will multiply your strength. Expose them, and you will watch your power scatter into the hands of others. In a world where everyone is talking, oversharing, and seeking validation, you now carry a rare weapon, the wisdom of silence. The question is, will you use it? Guard your dreams like sacred fire. Guard your money like a hidden fault. Guard your struggles like lessons in the making. Guard your plans like a secret weapon. Guard your circle like the roots of a mighty tree. Because when the time is right, the results of your discipline will speak for you. And when they do, they will speak louder than any words you could ever say. Now, my challenge to you for the next 30 days, live by this privacy protocol. Protect these 5 treasures and watch how your energy, your focus, and your opportunities begin to shift. If this message spoke to you, don't let it end here. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to keep rewiring your mind for wealth, focus, and unshakable success, then click subscribe, join our community, and continue this journey with us. Your silence is power, your privacy is protection, and your results will be your roar. This is Think Rich Mindset Hub. Until next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and protect your crown jewels